Vooch, another off-season of trade rumors, but you're still here. Um, were you surprised that they either moved you, didn't move you? I mean, what was your mindset? I know we always ask you this. It seems like come February or come the off-season for the last 2 or 3 years, you've been the rumor of the day.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't think about it too much. I had good communication with the front office throughout the whole summer. As you guys all know, there were about a million rumors, different kinds. But yeah, I just again, like I always say, it's part of the job I'm in, and we're all in, and they come with the territory, and so I didn't pay too much attention to it. If a trade had happened, it would have happened. If not, I'm happy to be here, and so it's you know, I didn't pay too much attention. Maybe around the draft a little bit because it was the most chances maybe something could happen, but overall, I know I just try to focus on my off season, my family, prepare for the national team stuff, and then I just something that's out of my control. So I didn't really try to think about it too much.
What's your approach going into the final year of the contract? And obviously, you're not alone. There's 5 or 6 guys around you that are, expiring contracts. Do you guys go in with, hell, we just see where the chips fall? Or, I mean, just what's the mentality of you and this group with so many guys on 1-year deals?
Same as always. I think you try to focus on the things you can control, which for me at this moment is to you know go through camp, help the team be the best version we can be when season starts. Be a good veteran, be a good leader for this team, help the young guys, and that's all I can do. When obviously I know my deal expires in a year, and when that time comes, then I'll focus on that part. But for now, my focus is on this team and be the best player I can be the best version of myself, and on the court, off the court, and help the team achieve the best results possible. How you doing?
I wondered if you could reflect on retiring from the national team and sort of what that feels like and how it maybe signifies that your playing days are possibly numbered.
I think it was just more so for the national team. Uh, you know, the biggest impact on that was my family. Having 3 kids, my wife. It takes a lot out of my summers. You get training camp, which some of a little over a month, and you got the competition, the preparation for it, everything. So I just felt like it was the right moment to do it. It was a Eurobasket, it was a big competition, and the next big competition is in 2 years, and so I wanted to finish my national team career on a high, which was this big competition, and that was it. It was I don't think about it too much connected to my career in general. But yeah, I just felt the also the generation of players we had on the team. A few of us are not going to play anymore, so felt like it was going to be a good chance for us to get a good run to end it. Unfortunately, some of those didn't get to play because they were injured, but yeah, so it was just I've been playing officially since '09, so long time. But yeah, I always enjoyed it. It was always fun. The competition part of it is great, representing your country. Everybody back home cheering for you, and so it was a great experience. I'm glad I got to be part of it, and yeah, I'm glad I got to finish on a high. And you know, it was, but yeah, it was mainly because of my family. Now summers, I want to spend time with them, be there for them, because during the season we travel so much, we're gone so much, and as my boys get older as well, they like me having me around more and more.
A lot of the focus today, just that we've been hearing, is kind of focusing on this youth development movement that the Bulls are focused on. How do you kind of approach a season as that veteran on a team, knowing that so much of the focus is going to be on developing these young guys?
I still feel very young, actually. So no, but no, I think for me, I like I said even last year, I enjoy the energy these young guys bring. I enjoy being the oldest guy here, and being able to help them develop. Help them along ups and downs they go through, like I went through, and so yeah, we have some very good young talent on this team. And the best part of it is that they all want to do it the right way. They all want to try to get better and improve by building good habits, trying to win, not just go out there and play to play, but try to do it the right way. And so it's been enjoyable for me. I think, I think you guys saw last year, I played really well with them, and I had a very good year. And so, yeah, I think when you have a good group of younger guys, it's fun to be around. And, I can pass some of my wisdom I've gathered over the years to them. And so, yeah, I think I enjoy it. So, as long as I'm here, I'll try to be the best teammate I can, try to be the best veteran I can, the best leader I can, and we'll see how that goes.
Sam Smith, Bulls.com. I'm afraid you'll say that you want to do whatever the coach says is what's best for the team, but I'm going to ask anyway. You feel, given the circumstances with this team, the way that it wants to play, the way you played at the end of last season, the depth of the roster, you certainly are playing well based on what I saw this summer, but do you feel like it's time for you maybe to step back a little and play like 24 minutes instead of 34 minutes or something, and given the circumstances, not only yourself, but with the team?
I mean, as a competitor, no. I feel like I can still play, the minutes I've played, and I can still compete at the level I have. But from all the conversations I've had with Billy, he hasn't mentioned that, at all, that my role or anything was going to change. So I don't expect that to happen, but again, we'll see when the season starts and how Billy's thinking and everything. But so far, all the conversations I've had with him is that, he hasn't mentioned anything about my role or something changing. But I understand that at some point in my career, it is going to happen, and that's just normal. That's part of it. And so when that time comes out, I have to accept that. So we'll see when it happens.
Go ahead, Mike. A lot of talk today about how this team needs to get more physical. They found out against Miami in the play-in that they weren't physical enough. Like, how, from your perspective, how would you suggest you guys go about being more physical?
I think it's a mindset thing. I think that was a good learning experience for this team, playing against Miami, a team that's has players that's been deep in the playoffs, a team that's known to play in that way, physical and tough. And so sometimes you have to go through those experiences to learn, to see what it takes. Sometimes you have to adapt your mindset, and if it's not something maybe you have naturally in you have to find a way to match teams that have that physicality. So I think it's different ways to get there, but I think we understand we need to be able to do that, just especially on defensive end, for us to have a chance to be a good team. So I mean, I think mainly it's a mindset thing. It's not really something you work on, or you can't really drill for it or anything. It's just you have to have that approach, you have to have that mental approach. And hopefully we understood that. We took that away from that game, and we'll be better at it this year.
Zachary Draves from Clutch Points. Given everything that you've accomplished in your career and the trajectory you've been on, playing in the NBA and internationally, where you are now as one of the veterans on the team, has your love for the game remained the same? Has it increased, or is it just as good as it was when you first started?
No, it's the same. I still, love playing basketball. I still enjoy, playing it, the competition part of it, coming to work every day and all that. So, I think the moment where that starts fading away, I think that's the moment I'll have to, start thinking about some decisions. But I think honestly, the game of basketball will always be, my main love, just because I've grown up around it. It's always been part of my life. It's given me so much in so many different areas of my life that there's just no way for me to think about it without it. But obviously I understand there's a time when I might not be able to be involved in a game of basketball the way I am right now. But I still enjoy it. I feel very good. None of that has changed at all for me. If anything, I think now I get to enjoy it more from a different perspective, where I have more experience, and I get to cherish certain moments that you don't necessarily do when you're younger, and you focus on so many other things. Now, I learned to take a step back, and when I see some things happening, that I can enjoy them, or maybe not waste as much energy on things that are unnecessary, that are out of my control. So I think as you get older, you get to enjoy certain things way more than you can when you're younger.
I know Arturis is probably not consulting you on trades, and you obviously can't know, but rumors have come in. When those rumors, I think maybe last trading deadline or some draft, whenever, you were quoted, there was some quote to the effect of, if you were, you'd like to be in a situation later in your career like this, where you could be in a winning situation, play in the playoffs, do something where you haven't experienced much in your career. How much is that going to play as you see this season play out with this team, given, recent years hasn't been, the kind of success you would like to see?
Do you mean when I become a free agent or in general? I mean, we'll see when that time comes. It's a long way from now. But I think for any player, you want to try to be in, winning situation, try to, be in the playoffs and have those deep runs. And so it's the same for me, but, that's something I'll approach when the time comes.
Vooch, I feel like we're asking you a lot of questions about like your aging and the end of your career, but you just had like one of the best seasons of your career, probably the best one you've had with the Bulls. Do you feel like that's coming up, or do you still feel like you can play for a while longer?
I still feel like I can play for a while longer. I really do feel really good. I just had, a very good Eurobasket where I felt good physically, I felt good mentally. So yeah, and I don't think my game is not necessarily based on athleticism or anything like that. Luckily I haven't had any major injuries or anything either, so I've been good with my health. I've been good at keeping my body in shape. So yeah, I think I can still play at a very high level for many more years. I don't understand why people keep asking me that, but I guess it's part of it. But I'm going to be 35 now in October, but I don't necessarily feel like like worse than I did maybe when I was 28 or 9. If anything, I actually feel better. I think part of it is also my experience of knowing how to manage my body better, about how to manage my rest, the way I work out, the way I eat, a lot of things. So yeah, I mean, the way the game is being played, I think it fits very well to my skill set. And I think, as I get older, I'm also able to, let's say, like, use less energy for certain things I maybe had to in the past, because I'm able to, read situations better and know how to position myself and things like that. So yeah, I mean, I feel good. Retirement is not something that's at all in my mind. I'm just trying to enjoy, as much as I can. I mean, I think the age in general, the age, that people retire until can play until is moved up with all, the stuff we have access to nowadays with recovery and rest and the way we work out and everything. So, yeah, and I think one thing I also enjoy very much right now is that my kids get older and they're more aware of me, of what I do, and what it means, for me to be in the NBA and things like that. That gives me extra motivation too. So, so it's not something that's on my mind at all, actually.
Thank you, Vooch.
That's it? All right.